All right. Good evening, everyone. It's now 6 p.m. and the November 3rd City Council meeting will come to order. Tonight's invocation is presented by Councilmember Jody Shirley.
Scripture says that in Romans 12:2, do not be conformed by this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God and what is good and acceptable. I just ask, as we enter into this council meeting, I pray for the residents of our city, our city council members, and our city staff, that we all have the knowledge of God and that we're able to discern what it is He would have us do. And that as city council members, we make those decisions and use discernment that best serve our city and our residents. Lord, I ask you to be with us as we enter into this meeting. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Now please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Kathy, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Frank Bankert.
Present.
Councilmember Kimberly Shaw Elliott.
Present.
Councilmember Todd Harper.
Present.
Councilmember Jody Shirley.
Here.
Councilmember Anders Wellings.
Here.
Vice Mayor
Here.
Lloyd Roberts. Mayor Dave Gaddis.
Here.
City Manager Kyle Riegler.
Here.
City Attorney Tom Trask.
Here. All right, thank you, Kathy. Our first order of business is approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion.
Motion is made by Frank Baker. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second is by Jody Shirley. All in favor? Aye.
All right.
That was Kim.
Oh, it was Kim. I'm sorry. I just, sorry. The struggle is real. All right. Did I get an all in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. The agenda is approved. All right. Next, we have presentations from the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, beginning with a monthly law enforcement report. Welcome, sir.
Good evening. Good evening, Council. Sergeant Mint, Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. First and foremost, I'd like to ask if there's any questions for the statistics for the month of September.
Council? I don't think so.
Overall, our deputies responded to 526 events for the city of Bel Air Bluffs. This consisted of various traffic stops, directed patrols, house checks, and so on from there. As far as crashes, our crashes are down. There's only one crash reported in the month of September. And overall, our deputies are continuing to abide by making sure that the city's safe with conducting traffic enforcement. Of the traffic enforcement, there was 185 citations or warnings issued, majority of these consisting on Indian Rocks Road and West Bay Drive.
We have the wrong town.
Wrong city.
Is it the wrong city? I'm sorry. Apologize about that.
I'm not going to move there.
That's okay. It's actually, there was no arrest during the month of September for the Bel Air Beach. There it is. Okay. Overall, 587 events. This consisted of our traffic stops, directed patrols. There were no crashes, and our deputies have been enforcing traffic as conducted. This was a total of 154 traffic stops.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Are you seeing an uptick on e-bike violations?
Not so much for the city. We are seeing them mostly in Indian Rocks and as well as Madera Beach. We really haven't been seeing a whole bunch of activity here.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions or comments for the sergeant?
No.
Thank you, Sergeant. All right, now we're on to the monthly code enforcement report. Welcome, Deputy Trump.
Good evening, everyone. Mayor, thank you all for having me. As I'm sure you have copies of the code report, I still really like this new system that we have been using over the last few months. It makes good reading for you all. You can see actually what is transpiring through some of these calls with all the notes that are put in there. Basically, for the month of October, I had 51 entries, and if you look at the page that has display month, you can see the various types of entries or types of calls that I've been handling. Everything from permit checks to on-street parking. We've been dealing a lot with, or working a lot with trees, dead trees, things like that, trying to get all those cleaned up. Some beach enforcements, some construction-related nuisances and some trailers and boats in the driveways. Everything that we've been having has actually had very good compliance. People are understanding and trying to take care of their issues and their problems. So from there, I had, lost my page. So we have 51 new cases, 25 follow-ups, and closed 49 cases. And currently, that does include also a couple of these days in November here, just in the past couple of days. We currently have just 12 cases that are open.
Great news, great news. All right, sounds like you're getting it done.
So we're trying very hard, so yes, sir.
Any questions or comments for Deputy Trump? Good job.
I appreciate some of the trailers we brought up last month and boats are gone. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other comments, questions? No? Thank you very much, Deputy. Appreciate you being here tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Next up is a presentation from the Pinellas Suncoast Fire and Rescue District by Chief Ken Grimes. Welcome, Chief.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. I'm glad to be here. We had I want his system because it produces a lot of good data. So I always follow him on the reports. And we'll get there. But I think we can improve the amount of data we give you. But of course, they have a lot more incidents. We had 12 incidents in the month of October. 8 of those were medical incidents. There was only one sort of major fire incident, which was a gas leak that took multiple units. We've had quite a few with the construction out here, quite a few gas leaks, over the past 6 months. And so the 8 medical calls, there was one that, a few that were severe, one shortness of breath, one stroke, and those are all those time-sensitive ones that you have in other presentations. And then I did, the manager did print out the, we talked when I was at your last meeting about a written proposal, so there's, as far as us using the house and that, and I didn't want to let that go by without Kyle and I produced what is a written proposal and explanation of use. I think that got out to your desks. It's really so that it's black and white what we're talking about, so there's no misinformation or misunderstanding. It's the quiet enjoyment of the use of the house here with no impact on Cedar. And sort of the frequently asked questions, I think, the map and shows the use or where we'd be driving, and then I think the frequently asked questions we could add to that if you wanted to, but how long will it be, 2 years, how many firefighters, all the questions that we got in the lit forum. And then, I'm just open or available to you for, if you want to take next steps. I think it was important to, we're still, one of the questions was, why aren't you looking at other places? And so, we still have Plan A, Plan B. Well, actually, we have Plan A, Plan B, or Plan A and Plan A, because neither one is takes precedence over the other. On our property on Church of the Isles, we're still proceeding there, trying to figure out how we temporarily locate there. Possibly, there's a meeting actually at the Church of the Isles. We publicly noticed for Friday of our commission. We're going to meet at the Church of the Isles and sort of walk the site and talk about the possible purchase of one of the adjacent houses to use. But at the end of the day, like I've brought forward before, this is a great location. It is the least expensive to the taxpayer option. And so if you wanted to continue marching forward together, we're arm in arm with you.
Chief, regarding the medical incidents that occurred over the last month, could you tell us about how they would compare to the results had you been here within your temporary location?
You've got to be a plan. That's a great question. Funny you should ask. Out of the 12 calls in your area, and yours in Bel Air Shore, only one call was completed by our station. The others were completed by either Largo or Clearwater. And so the stroke, for example, the response time to get to the patient was about 10 minutes. So the chart I showed you of response times, people say, oh, why can't we use the Sand Key station? Why can't we have Largo come across the bridge? It's just because it's too far. So as are we. So without us being up here, and the response time with us being up here would be 3 minutes versus 10 minutes. So that's the difference. And I thought it was when my data person told me that 11 out of the 12 calls were done by somebody doing automatic aid, which is coming from outside the district. It's still the most cost-effective option, because if you were part of Largo or if you were part of Clearwater, our collective taxpayer would be paying more because their fire costs more. In other words, if you were part of the Clearwater district or the Largo district, so the right thing to do is still fix it, move up, have us move up here, no additional, real cost to the taxpayers.
I continue to support your proposal.
Chief, I have a question.
Yes.
11 of the 12 were responded to by outside agencies,
Yes.
just for nomenclature purposes. Does that count as a reciprocal for you back to them, or do they cross-charge you for their services into your district?
Yeah, there's no fees that take place. We don't have to pay them. They don't pay us. We operate as a county-wide system. It's an amazing system we have here in Pinellas. An interesting statistic to me, but it might not be to you, but 52% of my calls are outside of my district. So my taxpayers paying for 52% of the time, more than half the time, we're actually responding to someone else's taxpayer.
Thank you.
But it goes vice versa when Largo came here, right?
Right, exactly. It all, works out. It still doesn't fix the fundamental problem of you just don't have a station close.
And I guess you wouldn't be able to tell us the 8 people that had medical, I don't know if it even would be a HIPAA violation.
Right.
How they survived.
Oh, yeah. I don't have outcome data for those, but I could if I could, as long as I don't identify the patient, I can, if it's obvious, we used to report in the local newspaper all the calls we had, but, eventually, like I knew there was a call over there, and so, as long as you can identify the patient, but the stroke made it to the stroke center, and the breathing problem made it, the fire department rode in with them, and they made it to the hospital. That's all I really know. I'll try to, but if I can get more outcome data for you, I will.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Just a comment and saying that I support everything you've presented here. Whatever we need to do to try to keep this moving forward, I'm available to try to assist in the process.
Thank you. It's up to the mayor and.
It's actually not up to the mayor.
Okay.
The agenda items are officially placed on the agenda by the city manager.
Okay.
And
I don't know the rest.
you should speak with the city manager about what he would like to do, and if he decides to put something on the agenda for us to vote on, then that's what'll happen. We'll debate it and we'll take a vote on it.
Great, okay.
Can I just ask city manager and Kathy, is it possible to put this on the website so that information's available for residents that want to see it?
Yes, I was going to ask, I believe that was the intention, we'll put this up
Okay.
to give more information out to residents who are interested, and then I thought we were going to lead into some more meetings
That's it too. Okay.
to support it.
All right.
That's all.
Anything else? All right, thank you for being here tonight, Chief.
As always, thank you.
Thank you.
Honored to serve.
All right, now we are up to the city attorney report. Mr. Trask, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. There have been a number of issues that I've been working on this past month with Kyle. There's a couple of them on the agenda tonight. The Certified Recovery Residence Ordinance, which we'll talk about more when we get to that agenda item. The city manager's employment agreement, and I'm hoping to have that addressed under item number 8, city manager follow-up. I've also had conversations with the attorney for Bel Air Shore and the mayor relative to meeting with Bel Air Shore and their attorney for the beach access issues. There's a tentative meeting date set for November the 6th. I'm waiting for a confirmation by Bel Air Shore's attorney, and I'm hoping to get that the next day or so. But otherwise, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Counsel?
Yeah, one question. You put on the record a few months ago that when there was a intent for a possible lawsuit, that you were contacted by Bel Air Shores to represent them. Are you staying away from them now that you're negotiating for us?
So what you're asking about is a possible claim that was filed against the city. What happens is it goes to the insurance carrier and they assign it to a particular attorney. I'm not involved in that.
Okay. You said, but I believe the record says that they approached you personally.
That's not true.
Now, is it?
No, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Comments? All right, thank you, Tom. Sure. All right, next up, city manager's report. Mr. Riefler, you're up.
Thank you. So, lead off, we have the 9th Street pump station that was discussed in the last work session. And Jim and I, we had a meeting this morning with Gator Pumps to go over kind of where we're at with our previous proposal for the pump station that we bid versus what they have to offer. And we decided it would be best to provide our information from our design and our bid to Gator, then to kind of look over where we came from and the numbers that we arrived at as far as the modeling for the 9th Street area, and then find out how we could incorporate the Gator pumps as an alternative option and compare it back to the same exact area so that we're comparing apples to apples if possible when considering either pump idea. So we did discuss this 3-inch pump size that was originally brought up, and then even a size up from that. So we're making progress, and we're still aiming for the 17th for the work session for the presentation. And then 22nd Street Bridge, I did get a report from Gemini that they received the estimate from the structural engineer, so they're incorporating that into their proposal for the phase 3 stability analysis we discussed. For the 75th anniversary celebration, it was a successful event. We estimated somewhere between about 120 to maybe 150 as far as attendance throughout the night. And we went through most of the food and drinks that we purchased, and what was left over, Publix let me return, so that was good. The planning and zoning meeting was rescheduled from last Tuesday to tomorrow. We couldn't reach the quorum, So we're going to hold that meeting tomorrow at 10, and one of the items is going to be the residential low District 2 floor area ratio. We discovered that there's an issue with how it's defined and what the ratio maximum is in the code, and we're going to present it to the Planning and Zoning Board to make a recommendation. We're going to present what our planner, Louis Cerna, has recommended from researching other cities. And then to do the first reading, we are holding a special meeting, which the city clerk has queried the council for the Monday the 10th. And that's going to allow us to get a first reading in, post the necessary notice in the paper, and allow us to have second reading and an ordinance effective immediately for the December meeting. The reason this is important is because currently, with the way the code is written, we cannot approve the new construction knowing that we have this limitation, so we need to make an adjustment. The undergrounding, I did reach out to the new governmental liaison, Teresa Crane. Apparently she had previous experience working with Duke, and she's coming back to the position. So I introduced myself and I'm trying to schedule a meeting with her as well as the engineering team that's working on the undergrounding project to get some insight into our progress forward. Hoping bringing her attention to it might, in meeting with the mayor, we can kind of get them where they need to be and progress forward. If you recall, we've been sitting in the same state on phase 1 for quite some time, and all the conduit is in the ground, and we just need Duke to come and pull that wire for us. And then also, we're still hashing out the design so that underground, our utility consultants, Florida, can progress and put their conduit for phase 2. They're ready to go. We're still moving through our hurricane recovery. We had a couple more demos from last month take place. I have some Elevate Florida properties that were pending that now I've discovered that they're not going to be part of that program. So some of them may be looking to do their reevaluation for repair, and then others have decided to demo. Working through those, in some communication, it is shocking to some residents that we are going to have to push them to demo because we do need these structures to be repaired or demo, but I've been in communication with them. And then our stormwater improvement project, so they did determine it's okay to seal the box so that the infiltration was coming between the concrete pipe and the cure-in-place liner. It has been sealed off. I did look at it today because it was sealed last week, and we were at about 2.7 about 9 o'clock, and I measured only 7 inches in the box and 30 more inches up to the grade, so it was relatively low. I think that's a good sign. It wasn't a very high tide, but I think it was high enough. That's a good sign, but I will want to watch it when we get some of the higher tides coming up this month. And as an update, Heather, if you've seen her throughout our meetings, she's been with us since about 2020. She has just taken on a new opportunity with the city of South Pasadena, a full-time director position. So good news for her, sad news for us. Andrew Tess, who is our city financial officer, he's going to be taking back over, coming in and doing, and he's the one that holds the contract. So we're going to be using Andrew again until we figure out another situation. We can take some another accountant. We're working on that. And then, as Attorney Trask mentioned, we have prepared the first amendment to the city manager contract to be presented, I believe, as after 60 comments.
Okay. Questions or comments for the city manager?
I have a question regarding this code review services, the FAR that you talked about we're going to have to vote on. Can you give everyone a better example of what that means so that you can maybe give recommendation, because I almost feel like it should possibly be removed rather than increased, because you're always going to be up against a problem.
Okay, so there was an FAR, the maximum FAR is defined for RL District 2 in the code is listed as a 0.4 ratio. The engineers reviewing, doing plan reviews have been treating that historically as the footprint ratio for new construction. But if you go to the FAR definition, it is defined as the floor area on multiple floors, not only the footprint. And if you treat it with that definition, the new construction that we are currently permitting would not be possible to keep just a 0.4 floor area ratio. It's a very low number if you're including all square footage of the floors. So we got on a meeting between Gemini and Planner Cerna and discussed, and Planner Cerna did some research of the local municipalities. He found that most municipalities do not have a maximum FAR for residential, low or single-family homes that they do for the multifamily. So in his recommendation, he recommended that we could remove the FAR requirement for single-family homes because of the setbacks, the height restriction. Those are limiting factors that would not allow them to build any more than they're currently building for these projects.
But I believe you mentioned that his proposal said to change it to 0.8, correct?
The one other that he did discover, Madeira Beach, is one city that actually had an FAR, and theirs was 0.8. He thought if we were to keep an FAR, that was a more reasonable one that would be in line with what the construction is in the city.
And for my house, that would be fine. But there are many houses that are 3 stories that they're parking under the house, which would mean they would need a higher ratio.
Right, for the 3-story garage
Yeah,
storage.
so just in preparation, that needs to be addressed. That's why, I don't know if it's, I don't know what that looks like. If it's, if we do more than the 0.8 that you recommended, or if we remove it completely. But, I took my property for an example. Lots 80 by 120, I can put 9,600 square feet on there. Oh no, I'm sorry, the lot is 9,600 square feet. As it currently reads, I can only put 3,800 square feet in there. We have 6,200 roughly. So to give you some idea, that's what we're talking about. And I don't have any structure underneath my building, so underneath my home, it's on grade.
Right.
And that's not the case for a lot of the houses or a lot of the new construction. The Elevate Florida eliminates many of those. There's a couple of 2 stories that are trying to elevate. They wouldn't qualify.
Right. So Planner Cerna's recommendation that I'm going to take to planning and zoning tomorrow would be to strike the FAR maximum for single family. And that will take care of it.
Because we have setbacks.
And he felt that with the other requirements that will be the limiting factors for a lot. And we do not need an FAR.
That's because you're staying within the setback, and it's whatever they can get inside that building is what they're allowed to do.
Right.
And to the maximum height, however many floors could be fit.
And on a typical lot, inline lot, the setbacks are 25 in the front, 20 in the back, 7.5 on each side, is that right?
It depends. If it's a waterfront lot, it could be the rear setback between 25 or 30. If it's a landlocked lot, it's more likely 7. Side setbacks can be as low as 5 in corner lots with exceptions, but typically they're about 7 in most houses, and some are 10, like on the Bellevue State Island. But yes, we are confident in reviewing with Planner Cerna that we would not need an FAR, and we'd still be limiting the size of what could be built in the lots appropriately.
Okay. I just want to make sure when we do what we're going to be voting on this special meeting, that if there was something that someone needed to talk about, we could talk about it now.
Well, I'm wondering if this FAR was inserted into our code as a safety mechanism in the event that they wanted a variance to get closer or to encroach into the setbacks, the FAR would maybe prevent them from, I'm not sure why.
I mean, unless it just lingered all these years, because most of the houses were single-story houses built back in the beginning. Because there was a whole lot of stuff in the code that we took out about servant quarters and things that just don't apply, that are obsolete completely.
True. Okay, well, any other comments about that? Councilmember Shirley? No?
No?
Any other comments, period? Let's see, manager. No? All right, thank you very much, Kyle. Thank you. All right, now we're up to the city clerk report. Hi, Kathy.
Hi there. I have nothing more than what's in the report. Pretty quiet month.
All right, and quiet is good. All right, now we are up to, do we have any questions or comments for the city clerk? No? All right. We're moving on to citizen comments. If any citizen would like to address the council about a topic not already on the agenda, please raise your hand and wait to be called on. We ask that you limit your time to no more than 3 minutes, and remember to direct all questions to the council. Would anyone like to speak? All right, council or citizen comments are now closed. Now we're on to item 8, which is the city manager follow-up. I don't think it's necessary since there were no citizen comments. Do you agree with that?
Yes, and then we wanted to talk about the First Amendment.
Oh, yep, that's true. All right, well, let's bring that up.
So Mayor, can I lead that conversation?
Sure.
Okay. At the workshop meeting, there was direction given to me to review the employment agreement that Kyle has with the city, and including the first and second addendum to that employment agreement, and make create a third addendum, and that third addendum should be on the dais here with you. In that third addendum, there are a couple of different issues that are addressed in it. I've got an extra copy here.
I've got it right here.
Okay. So the first thing that's happening in this third addendum to Kyle's employment agreement is it's extending his contract for 3 years. It would expire on November 20th, 2028. The second portion of the third addendum is an increase in his salary. Kyle currently makes $139,150. There was a consensus at the meeting that the new agreement would provide for a 4% increase. That 4% increase puts puts Kyle at $144,716. So you'll see that change in section number 2 of the third addendum. Also, the third addendum, there is some additional language that talks about beginning in the 5th year of his contract term that he would be entitled to an increase in the base salary up to a maximum of 5% as determined by City Council. That is also direction that was given to me at the last workshop meeting. And finally, in the agreement, there was a change to the vacation leave provision of his contract. There was a consensus at the meeting that he be given an additional 5 vacation leave days. So his total now would be 20 days. That also is addressed in the third addendum. Lastly, I would remind you that as the minutes reflect that this would be addressed here at the November 3rd meeting, and that's why I'm asking that the council consider the third addendum. If there are any changes, I can obviously make those, but I think I've followed the direction that I was given at the workshop meeting.
Thank you, Tom. I believe you followed our instructions explicitly. Council, any comments or corrections? Anything that needs to be adjusted? Yes.
I have a couple of questions.
All right, Mr. Harper, go ahead.
Under section 2A, we talk about the adjusted salary amount, and in section 2B on the 5th year, we talked about the increase of 5%. Does this imply that there will be no increase between year 1 and year 5?
We're in the 4th year right now, and so the 5th year begins next year.
Okay, so this is addendum to the original contract.
Right.
Gotcha. And then the other section I wanted to ask about was under section 3. the construct of accrual, is there a maximum accrual pool or is there a maximum accrual amount? It talks about accruing the days, but does it talk about if there's a maximum amount?
The maximum carryover of 40.
So you can carry 40 over year to year? Yes. And then if you don't use the 40, you lose the 40?
I think it was the second amendment, you granted the ability to sell it back.
And that's in the last sentence of that paragraph, number 3, notwithstanding any provision in the personnel policy, the manager may, at any time between November and December of each year, surrender or receive full cash value of any leave time accrued in excess of 40 days he otherwise would be permitted to accumulate. So it gives them the right to buy out or sell out, rather.
Perfect. No, it was just more of a concern of Kyle's here for the next 40 years and he cashes out 17,000 hours.
Gotcha.
So I wanted to make sure there was a maximum on the accrual amount, so that it sounds like the accrual process is just fine. Thank you very much.
Any other comments or questions? No? Well, why don't we do this? Why don't I ask for someone to make a motion to approve this third addendum?
Motion to approve the third addendum.
Motion is made by Frank Banker. Do I have a second?
Second.
The second is by Todd Harper. Let's do a voice vote on this one, Kathy. Before we do, let's go to debate. And I'll tell you what, this is actually, since this was brought up, before we do that, we probably need to go to citizen comments. Let's give the citizens an opportunity to speak on this. Would anyone like to speak? All right, citizen comments are now closed. Now we're to council debate. Any questions or comments? Currently, Frank Banker has the floor.
Mr. Riefler, are you happy with the contract extension, the way it's written and proposed?
Yes, I'm very happy. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right. Kathy, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Bankard?
Yes.
Councilmember Kimberly Shaw Elliott?
Yes.
Councilmember Todd Harper?
Yes.
Councilmember Jody Shirley?
Aye.
Councilmember Anders Wellings?
Yes.
Mayor Dave Gaddis?
Yes. So it's unanimous. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor.
You didn't ask the vice mayor.
Oh, is he? I didn't think he was here.
No,
You want us, no? You want us on now?
he couldn't give reception.
Okay.
Okay, so it is unanimous. Congratulations, and I've already signed my copy, so you can just have this one
Okay.
when the time comes. All right, and thank you for working on that, Tom. I appreciate it. Well, since we're still at a city manager follow-up, is there anything you'd like to add?
Just like to thank the city and the council and all the residents for treating me very well. It's a pleasure to work here. I look forward to another 3 years.
Excellent, and we look forward to it also. All right, now we are on to the consent agenda, items 9 and 10. This is for approval of the October 6th, 2025 City Council meeting minutes and the October 27th, 2025 City Council work session minutes. Tom has requested that we amend Section 5, General Business of the work session minutes to include text concerning Kyle's 5 additional vacation days. Would someone like to make a motion that we amend the consent agenda, the work session minutes?
Motion to amend the work session for the additional 5 days as discussed.
All right, that one was made by Frank Banker. Do I have a second?
Second.
That one was by Jody
Yes, it
Shirley.
was.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so the work session minutes have been amended. Now I need a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Motion to approve the consent agenda as approved and amended and written and proposed.
Motion made by Frank Baker. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second made by
Jody.
Councilmember Shirley.
Yes.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the consent agenda passes. Now we are on to the regular agenda, item number 11. This is for consideration of ordinance 2025-03, Tom, would you please read the ordinance and give us a brief explanation of why we need this ordinance?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. So this is ordinance 2025-03, an ordinance of the City of Bel Air Beach, Florida, amending Article 5, supplementary district regulations of the Land Development Code of the City of Bel Air Beach, Code of Ordinances by creating Division 3, certified recovery residences, providing for definitions, providing for procedures for the review and approval of certified recovery residences, providing for requests for reasonable accommodations, providing for revocation of reasonable accommodations, providing for codification severability, and for an effective date. That was the reading of ordinance 2025-03 by title only. As some background on this, during the 2025 Florida legislative session, the Florida legislature adopted and then the governor signed into law a change to Florida statute 39747 dealing with recovery residences. It required that every county and municipality adopt an ordinance establishing procedures for the review and approval of these homes within its jurisdiction. This ordinance does nothing more than what the state statute requires us to do. It requires us, as stated, to include this process in our code. So I've included some language in section 1 that basically adopts the definitions in Florida statute 397-311, and then the other provisions basically adopt the provisions that were required pursuant to the new law that has been put into place. In addition to that, I want to let you know that it has been reviewed by the city's planning consultant, Mr. Cerna, relative to the process itself. And he has requested 2 technical amendments. Those are included in the draft that was circulated so that you have that. So it's been reviewed by Mr. Cerna. So I'd be happy to answer any questions, but again, this is something that is required pursuant to state statute. I'm not really sure how we can do anything other than follow the law. So, yeah, I can answer any questions.
All right, before we do that, let's go to the citizens for comments on this proposed ordinance. Would anyone like to speak? All right, citizen comments are now closed. Council, I'm going to need a motion to approve ordinance 2025-03.
Motion.
Motion is made by Frank Baker. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, seconded by Todd Harper. Mr. Baker, do you have the floor?
I'm into following the law, so I think it should pass.
Any other comments?
I have a real issue with it. It's a problem for our community to have these recovery centers, which is basically what it is. It's a house that they'll house multiple residents and stack them in bedrooms. They do this right now in Deerfield Beach, and it's a nightmare. Probably the sheriff could tell you about it. Again, this is the state of Florida trying to take our local code from us and not allowing us to manage our city the way we would like to. I understand it's just saying its provisions allowing it, but I don't think we should allow it. I don't think we should allow these recovery centers in our neighborhood. We are not a commercial, we have no commercial properties, and it's nothing more than like an ALF, and we shouldn't allow it. It's a problem, and I don't know how we overcome it, but I think we need to be a little more resistant on this.
Thank you, Councilmember Shirley. Other comments or questions?
If we don't allow it, can the state hold back the funding?
So the answer is, I'm not really sure these days what the governor will do or he won't do. And so I would use caution. This is the law now and it is required. And I would remind you that you do have a provision currently in your code under section 94-135 that allows for group homes. I'll just read that provision that currently exists in your code. It says one group home residence consisting of a family unit not to exceed 8 persons may be constructed for developmentally disabled persons, dependent children, and the elderly. There shall be no more than one group home residence per half square mile within such district. So you do have a provision in your code that already does allow group homes, it's just a different type of group home.
Yeah, it's children and elderly, and we have one currently in this community that's been here since the beginning of time. So, and no one's even aware of it. So that's, that's,
What's the difference between children and elderly? Who are we trying to keep out?
I happen to personally know 4 people that have died in these facilities in Deerfield Beach. So it becomes a place to meet more drug addicts. I'm not going to say that everyone, they claim they have to be sober for a given amount of time, but who monitors that? I don't know how you monitor and police this.
It's policed by the state. They
Right.
have- I'm just,
I know.
okay. So
I'm sorry.
they have to be certified recovery residents. They have to have an administrator that is in control. The statute is a lot more lengthy than the process that I provided. The process is only one small portion of the entire statute, which talks about how it's regulated through the state.
So I guess the bottom line is, attorney, if we don't pass this, what's the ramifications? Or could be the ramifications?
Yeah, there could be all sorts of ramifications. It could be loss of funding, it could be some type of action brought against the city. There is no provision in the statute as it reads right now as to what the consequences would be, like we've seen in some statutes in the past, where they would fine commissioners or the mayor or that type of thing. If you don't do it, there's nothing like that in the statute, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be added. So I don't know.
So if they add it, we can readdress this?
So if you want to change to this provision, I think that we should talk to our legislative delegation and see if we can create a change so that maybe we can reverse this direction. That's what I would
All
suggest.
right, well, under Robert's rules, I can pull my motion. Can I?
Yes, you can remove
I
your.
am withdrawing my motion.
All right. Would anyone else like to make a motion? And you had a second, but now the first has been withdrawn. So are you making the motion or are you withdrawing your motion also?
For consideration.
All right. My recommendation would be to table this until we have more information. That would be my recommendation, but I need someone to actually,
Motion to table.
all right.
And I would second that. I think to give us time to digest it. I saw this morning. I suspect many of the other members haven't had a chance to digest it either. It's kind of important to know what we're approving.
Okay. I know whenever we have a motion to table that we're not supposed to debate. So all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. Thank you. And if I don't remember at the end of this to speak about this, someone remind me, okay? Because this is just some more of that preemption nonsense that we're all supposed to be the same. Very aggravating, but
May I just ask the attorney one question, please?
oh, sure, go
Because I
ahead.
think we do have a deadline, just to reiterate, and I just want to make sure that we make the decision before the deadline. So can you tell us what that is?
The deadline is January 1st, so we have to have 2 public hearings. Since this public hearing did not result in the passage on first reading, we still need 2 more public hearings before January 1st to adopt.
Okay, so here's what we'll do, all right? Whatever information comes out, we seem to have work sessions every month, and I will call a special meeting before the work session, and we'll get the second vote in, because it doesn't have to be 30 days apart, all right? So let's put this back on the agenda, Kyle, for next month, And that will give everyone time to do their own research and ask Tom any questions that they may have so that we're better prepared to decide on this. All right, and that's why you guys are awesome. All right, now we're on to item 12. This is consideration of the First Amendment to the interlocal agreement between Pinellas County and the City of Bel Air Beach for water quality monitoring and assessment services. This amendment extends the term of services for an additional 5 years and updates contact information. The cost allocation process remains unchanged. I've probably just taken the wind out of your sails, Tom, but you're up.
So thank you, Mayor. The city has been part of the interlocal agreement between Pinellas County and all the other cities in Pinellas County relative to water quality monitoring and assessment. The county actually does it and then charges the city for its portion. This agreement it's already been in existence since 2020, and it's just extending an additional 5 years. And the only other thing that's happening here is we're updating notice information. If there are changes or notices that need to be sent, it gives a specific person, a telephone number, and a email address. So that's the only two changes made, extending it for 5 years and changing the notices, the notice addresses rather.
All right, thank you very much. Would any citizen like to comment on this proposed amendment? All right, citizen comments are now closed. Council, I need a motion to approve this amendment to the interlocal agreement with Pinellas County for water quality monitoring.
So moved.
Was that you?
Pardon?
Who was that? Okay, just making sure. All right. Motion is made by Elliot. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, second by Shirley. All right. Kim, you have the floor.
This is a simple amendment to continue the essential services, and it's a mere update. I support it.
Any other comments on this? No? All right, in that case, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, the amendment passes. All right, now we're on to item number 13, consideration of approval for fiscal year 2025 year-end budget adjustments. City Manager Riefler, you're up.
Thank you. Heather Guadagnoli prepared this, and most of the adjustments are due to the hurricane. We had a lot of revenue that was came in a lot smaller than anticipated because of the hurricane shutdowns, and we also had a lot of miscellaneous income coming in as part of the FEMA reimbursements, and additional into the contractual services of Public Works Department, because of all the, had to pay for all the contractual services to pick up the debris. We had to add that into that account. And then it goes over some of the other funds where the adjustments, some of the work not completed in capital projects were adjusted. The marina, a lot of the repair work, as you know, the marina is an enterprise fund. We budget roughly about, I think it's about $10,000, maybe a little less for repair, and we had a lot more repair because of the seawater, soaking the electric, submerging the panel. So there was a lot of replacements that needed to be added. And lastly, the stormwater fund related transfers, just really completing that stormwater project for the work that had to be completed this budget year, as opposed to the last budget year when we got the money. So in the following pages, it lists out each one of those accounts and the adjustments made. I'd be happy to answer questions.
All right, let's go to the citizens for comments. Would anyone like to speak on this agenda item? All right, citizen comments are now closed. Council, I need a motion to approve the 2025 year-end budget adjustments. Motion to approve. Motion is made by Todd Harper. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Frank Baker. Mr. Harper, you have the floor.
I think the budget adjustments that have been presented amend correctly, and they're very well presented, so thank you very much.
Any other comments? No? All right. Since this is a budget amendment, I'd like to do a roll call vote. Kathy?
Councilmember Frank Banger.
Yes.
Councilmember Kimberly Shaw Elliott.
Yes.
Councilmember Todd Harper.
Yes.
Councilmember Jody Shirley.
Aye.
Councilmember Anders Wellings.
Yes.
Mayor Dave Gaddis.
Aye. All right, so it passes unanimously, and Tom has something that he needs to say.
So when you do these budget amendments, it requires the city to adopt a resolution to do the budget amendments. This morning I was provided with a draft resolution that was prepared by Kyle in his office. And that resolution needs to be considered and approved in addition to the motion that was just made for those year-end budget amendments. So I'm going to read that resolution just by title only. This is Resolution 2025-10, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Bel Air Beach, Florida, approving the fiscal year 2025 year-end budget adjustments and providing for an effective date. When you see that resolution, the action portion of it is down below under the now therefore clause. It's doing a couple of things. In section number 1, it says the fiscal year 2025 year-end budget adjustments as detailed in the memorandum that you've just seen and approved, and supporting documentation attached thereto. Those are the terms, and incorporated herein by reference are hereby approved and adopted. The second section of the resolution, the city manager and the finance department hereby authorized to make the necessary entries and amendments to the city's financial records to reflect those changes. And lastly, there's a provision that allows for when the resolution becomes effective, and that would be immediately upon its adoption. So it's appropriate for the city council to adopt this resolution to have the resolution as the formal action on that budget amendment.
All right, thank you for taking care of that, Tom. Let's go to the citizens for comments on Resolution 2025-10. Would anyone like to speak? All right, citizen comments are now closed. Council, I'm going to need a motion to approve Resolution 2025-10.
So moved.
Motion is made by Todd Harper. Do I have a second?
Second. Brody.
All right, I like that. That's very helpful. All right, seconded by Jody Shirley. Let's do another roll call vote because it's a resolution.
Councilmember Banger.
Yes.
Councilmember Elliott.
Yes.
Councilmember Harper.
Yes.
Councilmember Shirley.
Aye.
Councilmember Wellings.
Yes.
Mayor Dave Gaddis.
Aye. All right, and so Resolution 2025-10 passes unanimously. All right, now we are on to item number 14. Consideration to appoint a city representative to the Suncoast League of Cities. I put this on the agenda, or I asked for it to be on the agenda. Let me explain what the Suncoast League of Cities is. The Suncoast League of Cities is a regional association of 27 municipalities across Pinellas, Hillsborough, and Pasco counties, representing roughly 1 million people. Its mission is to advocate for member cities, support regional collaboration, and empower local governments working closely with the Florida League of Cities to represent local interests before state leaders and agencies. Before we go any further, would any citizen like to speak on this agenda item? No? All right. Basically, I asked Kathy to get nominations for this particular position to represent Bel Air Beach. Now, why did I do that is because I'm already a member of just about everything in the county. I just, unfortunately, I don't have the time to commit to this as much as I wanted to. And so I nominated Vice Mayor Roberts. As far as I know, we did not have any other nominations. Is that correct?
No.
Okay, and you did email everyone and ask for nominations. Do you know if Vice Mayor Roberts was, if he was willing to accept the position?
Yes.
Okay, all right, great. So, kind of explain to you my thought train on how important it is to have someone in the Suncoast League of Cities. I know there for a little while we weren't very active. I was very active, and I actually went to Tallahassee and I met with our legislators and was able to make some very strong points on items that I felt strongly about. The one thing that I failed to mention whenever I was talking to them, they first came back to me and they said, how does this impact Bel Air Beach? And in both topics that I addressed them about, I didn't really have a good answer. And the reason why was because it was just another preemption, but it wasn't one that really seemed to hit home for our community. But these preemptions are just nonstop. They're always happening. Every time they go into session, we have these preemptions come out, such as what we had to table tonight. All right, just another example of preemption where they don't really care. They want us all to be the same. And we have the same, they want us to have the same rules and regulations as Miami-Dade or whoever. Whoever it is that's misbehaving, they want us to be punished the same way. So I didn't have a good answer. And then I thought about it after I left, and I said, oh my God, I represent 1 million people. I didn't realize whenever I was speaking in Tallahassee that I was actually representing roughly 1 million people in these 27 municipalities. Instead, they hit me with, how does this impact Bel Air Beach? So I failed to represent our community properly because the right way to do it was not to say it doesn't impact us. I was supposed to be representing everyone. So that's why it's important that we have someone. So I think Vice Mayor Roberts would be a good fit for this, and that's why I'm going to ask the council to appoint Vice Mayor Roberts as our representative to the Suncoast League of Cities. But before we can do that, we're going to need a motion. So would someone like to make a motion to appoint Vice Mayor Roberts as our Suncoast League of Cities representative?
So moved.
I think I got two. Okay, all right. Kim and then Frank. All right, Kim, you have the floor.
I thank you for that explanation, and this seems to be a very important organization that we do need to be part of and have a voice and present a good voice for the rest of the community on matters of interest. So I think it's good that we continue to participate, and Vice Mayor Roberts would make an excellent member.
Okay, I'm going to ask, I'd actually like to ask both of you to amend your motion and make the effective date as of today. I forgot that part. Would you like to rescind and do it again?
Yeah.
So
Effective today, I suggest that we appoint Vice Mayor Roberts to this important organization.
Okay, and Frank, would you like to second that? All right. So now you've already spoken. You've given us your comments. Would you like to make any more?
No, thank you.
All right. Are there any other comments? No? All right. In that case, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Well, whenever you talk to him, tell him congratulations and thank him on behalf of the entire council. All right. Now we are up to item 15. I'm sorry I kept you here all night, but we're now to the consideration of two applications for appointments to volunteer boards or committees. We have an opening for planning and zoning, and we have another for an alternate on the Board of Adjustments. We have two candidates, Heidi Joy and Peter Mahalik. Are you Heidi?
I am.
All right. Heidi, would you like to come up to the podium and introduce yourself to the council?
Good evening, neighbors. I am Heidi Joy. Ask me any questions that you would like.
Why don't you start by telling us a little about you? I know we got your resume and your application, and just tell us a little bit about your history in Bel Air Beach and why you are considering being on the planning and zoning.
So I have a huge passion for continuity of neighborhoods. And after the storm this year, I could have moved anywhere because I lost my house. And after careful consideration and a whole lot of math problems, trying to figure out what was best financially as well, I chose to stay. And the property values in Bel Air Beach are very important to me because this is my community as well. And it is my mission to restore us to where we were pre-storm and then also elevate us in property value as well. And we need to do that by making sure that our planning and zoning is done properly.
All right, thank you. Council, do you have any questions? No? All right, and I'm not sure what Peter, what his intentions were either. It may be that he, are you Peter? Okay. Yeah, we just put you on the Citizens Advisory Committee recently, right?
No.
No? Oh, I think you were up, and maybe that was postponed or something. I'm not sure. I saw your name in some past notes, but were you interested in the planning and zoning, or were you wanting to be on as an alternate for the Board of Adjustments?
Well, actually, planning and zoning, and I believe it was the recreation.
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
Parks and
Okay.
Rec. Those are the two items.
So it was Parks and Rec.
Right.
Okay, and I want to meet with you also, so I'd like for you to come up. Thank you very much, Heidi. Please come up, Peter, introduce yourself. And the reason why I'm asking this question, I want to make sure that if you only wanted one position, we would have to decide how to vote. And if you were willing to take either position, then it makes it a little bit easier.
Okay. As you said, I'm Pete Mahalik. I live at 205 Harrison Avenue, Bel Air Beach. I happen to be a neighbor of Jody's. I originally lived on 24th Street for several years and then was fortunate enough to move to Harrison Avenue, enjoying it very much. And I've had a lot of experience as far as zoning. I also own property in Westport, Connecticut, still do. And in that capacity up there, I did work with the Planning and Zoning Board. I also worked on the Park Advisory Committee, which we had a very, very aggressive group of people. We had tennis courts, we had a golf course. This is in Westport, Connecticut, by the way. So I had a lot of experience with that. As far as the zoning, planning and zoning, as this young lady just said, I'm very, very interested in keeping the aesthetics of Bel Air Beach as pristine as it can be. And I know the hurricanes have caused a tremendous amount of hurt on a lot of people. I was fortunate to do very well, but I understand that things go on, and I want to see it get back to the way it was when I moved in approximately 5 years ago, before the hurricanes.
All right.
So, are there any questions you have of me? Please throw them in.
Okay, council, questions? No? All right, so I have two positions, and did you say you had expressed interest in, if you did not get the planning and zoning, then you would happily work with Parks and Rec also?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. So I think what I'm going to do then is I'm going to call for a roll call vote for planning and zoning. And then once we decide that position, we'll then Parks and Rec we'll figure out. All right. So what I'm going to need right now.
Mayor, can you clarify one thing? How many openings do we have on the planning and zoning board? I understand.
We have, I believe it's one opening right now. Is that right, Kathy?
On planning and zoning, yes.
Okay. And, okay, yep, that's all we have.
All right.
What other positions are open, Kathy, just so we know that?
So we have alternates on all boards open. And then we have Park and Rec, an opening. We have an opening on planning and zoning. And Board of Adjustment, we have an alternate open.
Okay, all right. That's where I got a little confused. I wasn't sure which one. All right, well, now I know that. So I'm going to go back to Heidi right quick and ask her, if you did not get on planning and zoning, would you have any interest in serving on Parks and Rec?
No.
No, thank you. Okay, so in that case, we're going to go ahead and go to citizen comments, and then we will we'll make a motion and we will vote on the planning and zoning. Would any citizens like to speak? No. All right, council, I'm going to need a motion to appoint, well, actually, what we need to do is we need to do a vote for the candidates, and then we will do a motion to appoint whoever the winner is. Does that sound good? Everybody okay with that? All right. So normally we write these down. I think we can just go ahead and just vote by voice. Is that okay with everyone? All right.
Councilmember Bankard?
For the planning and zoning, I'm going to go for Heidi because of her real estate background.
Councilmember Elliott?
Are we voting on just one right now?
Only one.
Or one?
This is for planning and zoning.
Yes, I would echo that same comment because of the extensive real estate background and experience. I think she'd be very helpful for that board.
Councilmember Harper?
Ms. Joy.
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 Councilmember Shirley?
Heidi Joy.
Councilmember Wellings?
Yeah, I think they're both qualified for the role, for the position on planning and zoning, but it seems to me it makes sense that we should vote for Heidi Joy.
And Mayor Dave Gaddis?
Heidi Joy. So congratulations to Heidi Joy, and we will make a motion and do the official appointment in just a minute. All right. So thank you for stepping up, Heidi, and also Peter. I appreciate you stepping up and working with Parks and Rec. Were you at the party the other night?
No, I missed it, unfortunately.
And you missed a good one. Yeah. So. And it's a great group of people to work with. So, all right. So the way that this is going to work, council, I'm going to need a motion to appoint Heidi Joy to planning and zoning, and Peter Mihalik onto the Parks and Rec board.
Motion for Heidi Joy to planning and zoning, and motion to Peter Mihalik for Parks and Rec.
All right, the motion is made by Frank Banker. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, second by Kim Shaw Elliott. Mr. Banker, you have the floor.
I appreciate both of you stepping up and volunteering. This man over here actually walks dogs with me every now and then at the Pinellas County Shelter. And so you fit right into Parks and Recs, buddy.
I didn't recognize you from this far away.
I don't wear glasses.
All right, and last step, Kathy, just to make it official, would you do one roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Bankard?
Yes.
Councilmember Elliott?
Yes.
Councilmember Harper?
Yes.
Councilmember Shirley?
Aye.
Councilmember Wellings,
Yes.
Mayor Gaddis.
Aye. So you're both in. It's unanimous. Congratulations to both. And thank you for stepping up and serving our city. Truly appreciate it. All right. Now we are up to item number 16, which is unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished business? Not at this time. All right. Item 17, City Council comments. We're going to start with Councilmember Banker.
I have an important comment. I wish everyone a blessed and happy Thanksgiving this month. Be thankful for what we have and what we've recovered from.
All right, thank you, Mr. Banker. All right, Councilmember Harper.
No comments tonight, thank you.
Councilmember Wellings.
No comments. We'll be good.
Councilmember Elliott.
Nothing further.
Councilmember Shirley.
I want to thank you guys for stepping up. It's really hard to fill these positions, and it's nice to see citizens getting involved. Thank you so much for your participation, and have a great Thanksgiving.
All right, and I would like to thank not Vice Mayor, but I would like to thank, well, first Vice Mayor Roberts for accepting the position, and then also I would like to thank Councilmember Banker for actually leaving everyone speechless tonight.
I tried.
All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion is made by Frank Banker. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, second by Elliott. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, good night, everyone.
So nothing yet. I just got it.